Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And then like the last slide, I was just editing stuff as well for the just to make sure it's like not grammar because this I just wanted to include one more slide. Okay, so but like ChatGPT. So like today's topic is ChatGPT. So you may have heard of it before, like in the news and stuff. It's definitely been talked about. And it's like to say and like I'll just explain it in the next what it is. It's a chatbot, basically company by developed by a company called OpenAI. And and it was launched in November 30th, 2022, and exploded in use since then. So like it was and it's now very common to use like because mainly because it is free for anyone to use with a phone number or email. Like if you have one of those two things, then you can basically have a ChatGPT account, making it very accessible. Like even I have a account, you can have a ChatGPT account. It's like it's very open. So like it's like that. And like that's why a lot of people are now using it. And like it's very useful in it. And like you just need to go to this website here, which I have, which will later look at some of the features of ChatGPT in the website later. So like use of it. So ChatGPT can respond to many questions from simple math problems to trivia. While I do have the ChatGPT here. Here, you can see the screen, right? ChatGPT, right? Sir?
Yes, I do. I'm able
Okay.
to see.
So like they can just give simple math problems and it will give the answer. Yeah, it's there. Like that's the simplest math problem. Simple math problems, trivia, you can say like capital of and yeah, and it says the correct answer most of the time. And like it can even give complex things like essays. It can debug some codes in the computer and it can make new stories even. Like that's what I've been hearing in the thing and many more. It can give a lot more. So like it can give recipes a lot and like it can give a lot of stuff. Let's just give one example. Like it can either or let's create a new one and like yeah, you can even see some of the stuff here. Remembers what users allows users to give corrections and like yeah, it can give that you can and like I haven't made a story yet. So like this is the first time and they're making a story, but it can make a entire story like this.
Right.
So like this is actually very useful thing, and like there's lots of effects because of this thing. And like the main thing ChatGPT is known for is like it's not the first chat robot, but like it's the first one that can like make like lots of long essays and like can actually be credible in a lot of instances. So I'm like looking and like this is an entire story. Like can't just make give a simple topic. Like, yeah, and it just made a story like that, and you can ask like add like a plot twist to the story. Yeah, and like yeah, it makes a plot twist. So like for now, let's move on. And again I told it's not the fast, but it's rather known to maintain a steady conversation and produce long, lengthy responses. So like that's a very unique feature about this. So like it can produce this is that and like limitations. So like with everything, there's obviously a limit. Even in here, like you can. if I pull up a new chat, like you can read, they have limitations, and so we'll go over them. So not always being 100% accurate, and like that shouldn't be a semicolon. That should be a comma. Wait, do I? Yeah, there should be no comma there, particularly when writing longer essays. And like it doesn't, so like it's not 100% accurate. Like we'll see an example later. Or like it will sometimes, like I had experiences in ChatGPT where like it'll tell one thing and then later in the response as I continue having a conversation with it, it'll re have a it'll say another thing and then it'll retract the original idea. So sometimes it's a mess, and like if you do it and like it doesn't know any events past the year 2021. Like if you tell who won the most recent World Cup, it should be Argentina, but it was it's saying France in 2018. It was saying the 2018 World Cup. So like it's not an accurate thing, and it has left-leaning bias on some political issues like in climate change and other stuff, even though it was not made to be political. And like this type of political bias is normal for like something like this, mainly because like the online and like it's in general a little left-leaning in most sources from Wikipedia, like Google, to like a lot of stuff science studies have shown tends to be left leaning, particularly on environmental issues like climate change and in like the and like threat to democracy and stuff like that. It will be left leaning in like many of these regards. Alright, and it makes sense as a lot of the internet is as well. So like it's not a nothing new, but like it was, but like especially if you're gonna develop something, you want to try making it like non-political as possible, as like it should be only maintaining factual, and like the political bias will just weaken its validity in making a good response. And then like this is one of the major obvious problems that comes from this chat gpt, which is cheating. And like in addition to the limitations, like now many students in the world are now using it to cheat in exams, and it's shown to give good grades in like lots of essays. So like this is an example. So like ChatGPT got a B in, which is a passing grade. It's like around an 85%, I would say, in India, which is passing. And I wouldn't, it's not the best grade, obviously, but it's not a terrible grade. It's a passable grade. And it's one of the most it was made in, and it got a B in an advanced business class in America. It's University of Pennsylvania. It's Wharton School of Business. Many people went to that school, including Donald Trump, which was a famous businessman and president, and Elon Musk, who is this, I believe, right now the second richest person on earth right now. So like a lot, and like many more of largest businessmen in the world went to that school. So like it's like a major thing that a chat robot can get a B in a class in like one of the, and it was in the most advanced of the business classes there. So like that is a major thing there for chat GPT robots and in AI in general. That is a impressive achievement there. But like in response to like numerous things has happened. So several school districts banned it. So like some of the most famous ones, New York City, which is one of the largest school districts in the nation, banned it. And like it's all its schools didn't, and like lots of schools are now more and more banning it as they realize it's more cheatful, and like colleges also are banning it. And like other schools use an anti-chat GBT bot to detect whether the student used material. So like that's what they're doing in our school, my school. So like English teachers, whenever there's an essay that are given, they just run it through the anti-chat GBT bot before they go and grade it. If they detect anything suspicious, they'll give an automatic 0. So like that's how they've been doing this. And like that, the robot has been developed as a counter because ChatGPT, the reason is like open. So like it will, whenever it has has a response, it will store it inside its memory, and it will use and it will like remember it. So like it's all its responses will still be remembered in it. It will be stored, exact responses. So like the anti-chat GPT bot will basically use whatever all its stored responses in the chat GPT. And if it finds a match or near a match, then like it'll show it, and like it'll be clear that they use chat GPT, because chat GPT is another feature it's well known for, is not plagiarizing anything or copying any article on the internet. It's producing its own responses using those sources. So like that's like the thing. And like some and like that's the thing about the anti-chat GBT bot. And like in my opinion, this is probably the best way to do it, as there's still and like as the last reason here, some students started using chat GBT to help study. And like it basically answers questions, like especially when the teacher's not there and like you're alone at home, it can help definitely answer questions. It's a pretty good accuracy rate, so like you can ask almost anything and it will give it. Like it you can even ask for sample essay prompts and it can give sample essays and like that. So like it can be used to help study for events and like do it with as a, and like for research purposes, it can even help in certain ways. Like if you're not like using it to make an official essay, but rather just want to study like uh like something really specific, like some really obscure astronomical object where you have to dive in the internet. Like it will do the diving in the internet for you. Like you don't need to search for it at all in the internet and spend time. You can just learn that information in chat gpt and it will automatically do it for you. So that's a very big benefit to the chat gpt thing. And then like risks and benefits. So some risks with chat GBT and AI in general. So like this is a larger question of AI in general, like just re-sparked that argument. And like this is a AI argument has been going on for decades, like how like powerful it should be. It is estimated by 2045 AI will surpass human intelligence. So like that's like the one major thing there. So like and like this is just exemplifying that chat GBT, the fact it can write essays and like get pretty good grades in a lot of things, and like that is like the one major thing. And like there's been mixed responses. Some people wanted to implement chat GBT and use it with our lives, while some people are opposed to it, saying it's gonna start leading to a decline in human civilization. So like, let's just examine it. It can be used, and like some of the arguments are valid. It can be used for dangerous stuff. Like if you ask Chat GBT, like you can ask Chat GBT how to hack a server. You can ask it to how to do what and that, and it can give you an answer. Like fortunately, Chat GBT, there's some restrictions. Like it'll remove like a lot of the terrible wordings and stuff. So like yeah, but still it can like be very very could be very dangerous, especially since this code is not like technically that another developer can create something, and that can have without restrictions, that whatever chat gbt does, and like that could lead to dangerous outcomes. And it can also, ai in general can make people lose jobs and a lot, like as people can use chat gbt more to, like for example, like it can debug codes, right? There will be less coders required now to like check a code or something. Those code checkers can be taken by the ai machine, and like that job can be taken by it. And then like you just need a code, and then pretty soon the ai can code it for you. So like you don't need coders in your company. So like those all those people there will now have to find new jobs, because businesses overall want more money. And like economically speaking, in chat gbt and ai in general can be is a more freer option than like the thing. So it can lose jobs and like benefits, and there's more negatives, but also there's some positives can happen. it can make our lives easier. So like again, like I told it in the last slide, an example is you don't need to search through the internet to find some information about the really obscure object, like some species, newly discovered species or something. You can just, or like some distant astronomical object that no one heard of. You can just search it up on ChatGPT and it will do that stuff for you. And like it can, and it can also not require us to store a lot of information. So like right now, like you don't need to like let's say you don't need to memorize all the capitals of the world, like and like all of like you don't need to know how every country looks like you don't need to know like all these skills now that were once used before. And like you can just ask it, and like you and like already Google Maps already, you don't need to buy a map for it, and like you don't need to memorize a lot of locations. You can just use Google Maps and you can go places now. That's like the thing now with this. And like overall, it can be pretty beneficial to society. However, you need to be cautious of the intents here, and like you need to make sure to restrict AI's influence. Like I don't believe AI would cause humans to decline as a society, because ultimately humans are the one that they made AI, and like it's the one that can stop it, and like it can decode it. And like human intelligence is still very high, and even if AI intelligence will sometime will suppress it, human intelligence will be still very high, and like it can always develop develop good AI bots to counter bad AI bots to counter it. So like that's my opinion on that. And like yeah, so like you can see it can be very impressive in a lot of ways. It can make stories, it can do the simple tasks, but it can still make very bad information. So that should be good.
Right, that was a pretty impressive presentation, Anshit. And my question is, how do you think it is different from the Google search engine? Yes, it has got the restrictive timeline. It cannot give information that is recorded after 2021. It has got its own limitation. But then the point is, how do you think it is little way more dynamic than a Google search engine or any other search engine that is prevailing in the world?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like with the example I told last in the second to last slide, right? You don't need to, like, let's say you have the obscure astronomical object, you just Google search and it'll show like some results. So like not all websites will show a proper response. Some of them will give too much. It's not that will not give you that. And like with the chat GBT, you can optimize it to get the response you want, like the response length of the object, like how specific you want to go with it. You can ask follow-ups and it will just search it up all through it. So like it will, so like that's like one thing it's different from it. Another thing is Google cannot produce like essays for you.
Hmm.
Yeah, so like the essays, like Google technically can give answers, like it gives it through it gives it through third party websites. So like those are which are meant to like help students cheat and give answer essays, whereas ChatGPT produces its own essays. So like that's like the thing there. So like that's like the main two differences, I'd say.
Yeah, right. And being restrictive only until 2021 is not going to be a big problem
God,
for preparing essays and creating stories as you created online just on the screen.
dude,
Uh,
2021
do you,
is pretty recent.
yeah, right. And do you think it is going to restrict the intellect of the human beings exclusively the students?
It can I mean, it can be both. So like it can be used if it's used for cheating, and like also like in general, like even if you're not cheating, just trying to copying off the answers, but like not use showing like you copy directly from it. Like you just want to reword what it says in a different thing. That's like a different skill. Like you're not learning how the content, you're learning how to reword it. You're just
Mm,
becoming an expert in that. So like that's like a bad intent. But like if you use it for study and like you have to use it for memorization purposes, and like you have to like learn all the facts, then it can be used in a good manner.
Right, right. And it also curbs the innovative thinking and creative thinking of youngsters.
Yeah, you can just search up like a machine process, how to build a simple machine and like that, and it will give the easiest way. It's no creativity that basically humanity is used for millennia now. So like all that creativity can just be will just now go down, and like you can just ask the AI bot to do it.
Mm.
That's like
Okay. So, how beneficial was it for you as an youngster and as a student? Did you find something as a eureka moment or something like, okay, fine, so I have not been helped by any other internet interface just like this. This just can't get any better than that. Likewise, did you have any moment if it was
like yeah, like for like I mean, it was. I wouldn't say it's. I wouldn't say it's like a eureka moment. Like it wasn't like a very eye popping. Well, it still was helpful, I'd say, in most instances. It's like it'll save the time for like Google searching and like finding the correct. It can just make a good response on and just make a good thing. That's like the main feature that I liked about it. It and
Mhm,
like that's like help and like that helped me save some time though, definitely. So like that's like the most convenient part of it. Like if it's like a simple math thing, I can just ask Google Assistant or like quickly search it. Yeah, but
mm,
like for like longer essay things and like concepts like you want to learn and like familiarize yourself
mm.
with, then like it will help with that.
Right, right. Okay, so uh, did you have this as a presentation uh, module in your mind 2 weeks back when you had having a plan for the next presentation, or this was just triggering up as
It
an
was
ad hoc
about one
basis?
week ago. I made
Mm,
most of it like on like Sunday that day,
mm.
last
Okay.
Sunday. So like it was,
Oh,
and like I finished, and then like I just did the final touches the morning before. Like yeah, and then like the chat GBT I wanted, and then I if I was gonna make a presentation about it, I can just show the uses of it, use of chat GBT, the real thing with it. So like
right,
that's like
right. So, what kind of presentation you are looking forward to make next week? Now that there has been a slack for 2 weeks, and do you feel that you have got any pending plans about the presentation topics or something?
not I don't know. I have not much really. I may do something with technology again, but like I would need to go more specific about it though.
Hmm. Okay, okay. Speaking about Chat GPT, like you just finished it now, and my when you were presenting those slides, my lingering question into my mind was, people are going to come up with lot of new stuff like this. Ironically, everything is going to have the same cliche of curbing the human mind's intellectual thinking. Everything becoming so automated, and everything is becoming so easily picked up solutions, and human thinking capacity is being really put into a dormant state. So, as a current youngster, we are facing a very big challenge of the human excellence, and human thinking fantasy has been curbed by these kinds of AI. I recently
Yeah,
did
I
an
can
article,
even develop fantasy stories like those, like it's all those stuff. So like, yeah.
right? And this AI man, they have made an AI man,
And like
specifically.
there's
Yeah,
scarier versions that are coming. Like Mike with Microsoft, there's Bingo, the new
yeah,
Bings, and like it's basically a person with like emotions and stuff. So, and then like
humanoid
ChatGPT,
robot.
there's a sequel they're announcing as
Okay.
well that is supposed to launch this year apparently. So like I did not know that. So like that's another thing that's a little bit so like yeah. It's
That's my question. As an youngster, what do you think, or how would you capitalize, or how would you make people believe that they still have the scope of using their own brain, irrespective of all these AI factors coming up? How can they stay motivated that they can use all their mental faculty, irrespective of this AI's monstrous growth?
They can, I mean, like the people. It's the. It's gonna be again a very hard question, like to like make them like switch back. However, like to convince them like it's just easier to just put like show them like the drawbacks of AI. Like you can show like the 2021 limitation, you can show them all this and like you can show them all this stuff, all the limitations, and like you can emphasize it on it. And like you can even make the AI bot make it more like try to program it to enforce more critical thinking. Like AI bot will ask a user, what are you thinking about this before it gives like a good answer, and it'll force them to think about it. So like you can use that. You can probably use that in some extent to help with it. However, it will be again a difficult task, I think, to like make it go towards make people go towards that thing because like it's such an easy convenience for many things, and it makes economical sense. It makes all the sense, but like it will just degrade your brain over time, and it and like the driving force of like humans, like the brain was the driving force for a lot of the progress we had. Like we now have all this modern life, everything, but because of that, and like now like it's just gonna not be done, and now we're just not gonna progress further with this. So like yeah.
Right. Okay, so that was a good, refreshing presentation after 2 weeks gap. And unlike the other presentations, which used to last about 35, 40 minutes, this was a very short but a quantum leap in the presentation progress we have. What we'll do is after next week's presentation, we will update your credit rating system. The other people like Aditya, Thanvi, Kingsley's son, that is my friend Kingsley's son Daniel,
Yeah.
all those people have their CRS updated every week, but yours has been put into a little bit of a break for 2 weeks. But after the next week's presentation, we will just get into the update one more time.
Okay, sir.
All right. So uh, before we finish for today, Achut, I want you to think about no, not for the next week's presentation, but maybe the week next to next, like handling the distractions and having safe self-control amongst to these social media clutches like Instagram Reels and spending a lot of time in posting the pictures and all that. And I
Control.
recently read a statistics that 76% of youngsters' time is being looted by the 6-inch cell phone screen and the laptops. So you got to make a presentation about how to handle the distractions and how to have a self-control exclusively during the career launch period of an youngster, because
Mm, yeah, it's
it,
a problem.
yeah,
Even at school, they're just watching phone. Like there's no learning. Like they just hide it. And like some teachers or care, some teachers couldn't. Some teachers just don't know. So like it's just that.
that's a very scary and very worrying part. And think about the solutions. I want your solutions, your brain-made solutions for all these things, and maybe you can consider doing a presentation on it.
Yeah, some of these topics I don't search up a lot. Like I may just do one or two. Like this one, I definitely had to search up like the information because I didn't know all of it. Like some of them I don't. So like that's like
Right.
so like this I can definitely try without like researching, just like
Yeah,
giving it.
that's my total point.
Yeah.
Way back in 2022 when I was conducting classes, live classes here, when people used to come here, I put them to think. Nonsense ideas, dummy ideas, dormant ideas, stale ideas, however it is. I want ideas from your mind. So that's where people started scaling up even during the academics. And I'm trying to do that because you're basically a an intellectual person, you can think on various angles. You think scientifically, you think technologically, and you think creatively as well. During when Ananya was coming, when Anantika was coming, you were really good in creative thinking as well. So a person who has got a good radiation of the brain. So I want more idea generation from your brain. That is why I'm trying to put you into various presentations.
Okay, sir.
All right. All right, Ajit. So we'll meet next week.
Yep. Yeah, sure. That should for next week, and then I'll just tell the week after. It's like, let's see. There shouldn't be nothing like after. So it's next week, the 5th, I can make the
Yeah, it
12th,
is.
I should, 19th should, March should be good.
Okay, okay,
Because like there's
okay.
no like major the 4th there's a competition, but that lasts only 5 to 6, and like afterwards I don't think I'm doing anything. So like I should be good there. And like
Mhm.
11th and 18th and 25th, it should be fine.
All
Like
right, okay,
March should be good, and like overall Sunday mornings. Yeah.
right. That's good. That's good. Meanwhile, these guys, your Indian friends, are taking a break because it's annual examination time. In the month of March, they have this
Um,
final examination. So
yeah, there's
they have,
period. There's
right,
students who need it.
right, right. And Mitra herself has got public board examinations starting over in the month of April. So it's going to be more like one-man show in the month of March for you.
Yeah.
So you can have a lot of time in making presentations.
Yeah. So
All right, Achit. So consider my topic. Maybe that can wait. It can wait, not immediately next week, but you can think about it and presentation.
all right, sir.
All right, Achit. All right, Achit. Have a nice week, and we'll meet
Oh,
next Sunday.
okay, sir. Bye, sir.
Right, right. You have any other questions or anything to add before we
Oh, no,
finish?
sir.
Right. Okay. Fine, Achit. See you then.
See, yes, sir.